Just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas to everyone. We missed last Friday. We didn't have a chance to go live, so we're back tonight, and it's going to be about 45 minutes. We're going to dissect and get into the market report. Very, very briefly, we're going to touch upon the market report for 2024. Just look at the numbers for, how the market performed overall. And then we're going to talk, today's topic we're going to talk about is the Oakville, Milton, and Burlington real estate markets. These are the main markets that me and Asim, we specialize in. First of all, Asim, how was New Year's for you? You were in New York, right?
It was busy.
It was busy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in the Times Square for the New Year's. How about you? What was your New Year?
I was in downtown. I was debating not to go downtown because it was really bad here. It was like raining.
Yeah, it was raining there as well.
It was raining in New York as well? Yeah. But Times Square is a bucket list. A lot of people want to go to Times Square on New Year's, right?
Unfortunately, the fireworks, they canceled, so yeah.
In Times Square?
Yeah, it was canceled there.
Okay. Yeah, they did the fireworks in Toronto. I think they said that rain or sun or shine or whatever it is, the slang, they're going to do it. So they did the fireworks, and we had a good time. But it's good to be back. It's nice to have a little bit of a breather and get back into the rhythm of work. So we're in a new year now, 2025. And obviously a lot of crazy things have happened over the last few days. You can see in Canada with the leadership, change coming in effect and a few other things. So, but yeah, we're going to talk today about, we're going to do a quick review on the market report, and then we're going to get into these three markets: Oakville, Milton, Burlington. Asim is actually going to ask me a number of questions about the Oakville market to help educate anyone that's watching. Oakville is one of our favorite markets, and we see a lot of potential in this market. So we're going to talk about a lot of current projects that are currently ongoing also in Oakville and upcoming projects. Just want to show you guys some numbers for 2024. 2024 was a challenging year. So, but let me just pull this up. It did get stronger towards the end of the year. Right. So year over year, this was the TREB market report that was released this week, and we just wanted to really summarize it. Year over year, detached properties in both the 416 and the 905 overall were down 1.4%. So just want to see if it's looking okay here. Yeah, it looks good. So yeah, 1.4% was a negative decrease in the price for detached properties in GTA and the outskirts, 905. Semi-detached actually experienced a growth in price by 6%. Year over year, townhouses were also down by minus 0.3%. So, these are not, if you're looking at a year over year in terms of price going down, they're not horrific, but the numbers are down according to TREB. And year over year, condos were almost flat at 0.1%. Obviously, that is a market that's been really beaten down here in the GTA, and we're just hoping that things get better over time for that market. And yeah, that's basically the TREB market report for 2024. So I think what we'll do now is we're going to jump into, like I said, Oakville real estate. And Asim, you can go ahead and ask some questions to me.
Yeah, so my first question is, that what kind of pre-con products are available in Oakville right now, or maybe Burlington and Oakville?
Yeah, so Oakville is really a township, right? Oakville is not considered a municipality. So township, basically, it's not as big as a municipality. It's not as dense. But when it comes to products in Oakville, it's like any other municipality in the GTA. We have a combination of condos, townhomes, semi-detached. We do have in the resale market, and single-car garage detached and two-car garage detached. We also do have what's called condo townhouses. But as of right now, for brand new builds, we don't have that many options available right now.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the average price when it comes to the condos or freehold properties?
Yeah, so Oakville is an expensive community for a number of reasons. We'll get into that. But right now, if you're looking to make a purchase in Oakville, when it comes to condos, you're looking at around I would say closer to $1,200 per square foot. Now, it does depend on the developer. There are different developers that are building condos in Oakville at different price points, but the average right now is around $1,200 per square foot. If you're looking to buy a 3-story townhouse in Oakville, 3-story, 3 levels with 1-car garage, you're looking at around $1.1 million starting. 2-story townhouse, that is the traditional, townhouse with 2 levels, an underground basement, and a backyard. Single car garage, you're looking at around $1.2 million. That would be the starting price. These are all for pre-construction. Single car garage detached house, you're looking at minimum for brand new pre-construction around $1.5 million. And that would be with only a select few builders. And then for the 2-car detached double car garage, you're looking at around $1.8 million. These are all the starting prices. So it is an expensive market. We'll get into why Oakville is an expensive market, but there's a lot of value here, which we'll discuss as well.
And so what are the main areas in Oakville? What are the main locations here right now?
In Oakville, right? Yeah. So Oakville is, there's different communities, there's different neighborhoods in Oakville. So, there's North Oakville, which is closer towards Dundas and Trafalgar. That's where you see a lot of new development happening because there's a lot of rural land there. So, builders like Mattamy Homes, builders like Arista Homes, Hallett Homes, they're all building in North Oakville, Fernbrook Homes. And then you have like South Oakville and West Oakville. South Oakville has some of the most prestigious neighborhoods such as Bronte East, Bronte West, Glen Abbey. So, on paper, like those are the more desirable neighborhoods of Oakville. Proximity to the lake, proximity to, downtown Oakville. So yeah, different neighborhoods, they all have different pros and cons to them, but like I said, right now for pre-construction, a lot of builders are building in North Oakville, which is rural Oakville, and Dundas Trafalgar, Dundas 6th Line, Dundas and 8th Line, and we have developments in South Oakville as well.
And what's the average price in the South Oakville?
In South Oakville?
Yeah.
So there is a difference in price. Like I said, on paper, South Oakville is more expensive than North Oakville. If I'm giving you a reference point in South Oakville, I would say maybe QEW and Bronte Road, or Upper Middle Road and Bronte Road. That's in Glen Abbey. Or if you're going more towards Old Oakville or Bronte East or Bronte West, the cost of land there is more expensive. So when developers are purchasing land there, they are paying a premium for that land. So when they build their houses, or when they come up with a project and then they market and sell it, they do market at a higher price point. However, in South Oakville, they are building higher tier products. So if you're purchasing a property from Fernbrook Homes in South Oakville, you are going to pay a higher premium, but then they're building in high-end upgrades. They're building in a higher end product. The exterior finish is going to be more high end with a higher end brick, stucco. It's a more high end product. That's what they build in South Oakville. So to give you an example,
this is the South Oakville in the background.
Exactly. That's South Oakville right there, backing right onto the lake. So you can see that's Lake Ontario. So South Oakville, I would say if you're comparing South Oakville to North Oakville, which is like Dundas and Trafalgar, I would say there's maybe a $150,000 to $200,000 price difference between those two locations. Like I said, in North Oakville, you can get a detached house for around $1.8 million, and in South Oakville, it would be probably closer to above $2 million.
And what are the builders who are making right now in Oakville?
In Oakville, there's a number of builders that are developing right now. We have about 10 to 15 different projects that are ongoing, and we have more projects that are going to be released in the next month or two. Some of the prominent developers are Mattamy Homes that are building in North Oakville. We have Fernbrook Homes that are building in South Oakville. They have estate lots. We have detached homes from Hallett Homes, who's a very good builder. They're also building in South Oakville. We have a few lots there. Remington Homes is building in North Oakville. We have new releases coming out, like I mentioned, in about a month and a half from Arista Homes and another release from Great Golf. And then we have a release coming from Coscorp. They are currently building detached houses in Milton. So we're going to have a release from them. They're going to come out with 20-foot townhouses and 38-foot singles. So there's a lot of development ongoing in Oakville, and it's very hard to go over all the projects right now on the stream, but if anyone needs to connect with us, then we can share all the options. But yeah.
And all of these builders, they have inventory right now in the North Oakville or South Oakville?
Yeah, so in Oakville, when it comes to inventory, we do have inventory. So, there's a few different areas, right? So basically, some of the builders have released projects 1 year in advance, like 1 year prior, and they're still sitting on inventory which they need to sell off. So we do have inventory homes like that. We do have a few developers that are constantly releasing new detached houses in Oakville. Mattamy Homes, for example, they did a release today. They released more 38-foot lots, a few more 38-foot lots. So we have builders that are currently releasing new products. And then we have assignment sales. So we have people that have purchased products from these builders maybe 1 year back, and they want to now sell the property maybe before closing, maybe their circumstances changed. So we have those options as well. But yeah, we have inventory from a number of different developers right now.
And do you think we have good assignment sales in Oakville right now?
There are some good deals because people that booked in 2021, they paid a high price point, and now when it's coming up to their closing, they're having concerns that they're going to be able to close a property at the price they paid. So we are seeing some distressed deals when it comes to assignment. But like I mentioned on the previous streams, even some of the developers are offering some pretty good deals. But Oakville is like an expensive market, right? We have other markets that are bordering Oakville where the prices are much cheaper. I think you're going to ask me a question about that. But 1.8, 1.7, that's kind of the price that that you have to pay.
Yeah, so
for a two-car garage detached.
I will ask you the questions right now, right?
Yeah.
Is there any cheaper alternative than the Oakville right now in the market?
Yeah, there is. I mean, the thing is, when we speak with people want to be in Oakville. Like, there's a lot of demand to be in Oakville, but unfortunately, it's a high price point. So, for people that call us, and once we explain what the pricing is, people that want a detached property, two-car garage, but they fall around the budget of 1.4, 1.3, 1.5, say they can't stretch to 2 million plus, or closer to 2 million. We have an alternative market, which is Milton. So, and we're not talking about very deep, like North Milton. We're not talking about 401 and James Snow Parkway. We have some options that are bordering right on, that are right on the border of Oakville and Milton. They do fall under the Milton municipality, but you're about 8 minutes from Oakville. You're about 9 minutes from the border of Mississauga if you're going northeast. Brand new community, brand new facilities, hospitals, restaurants, big box stores. It's a really nice community. Main intersection, I could say, is closer to like Britannia and Thompson Road, and we can get you the same product that you would pay in Oakville for 1.8, 1.9. We can get it there for 1.4. It's almost a $400,000 to $500,000 price difference. So that's a very good alternative market for someone that has Oakville as their preferred choice, but if the budget's just exceeded, then that's a great pocket. And we have about 3-4 projects that are ongoing right now. And I see a lot of value in that community.
Please tell about the projects in Milton.
Milton?
Yeah.
So we have a few builders there: Fieldgate Homes, Coscorp, Great Golf, Mattamy Homes. These are 4 builders that are currently building in that pocket, and very good projects. And right now, like I said, some builders, it's still a buyer's market. It's still a challenging market. So if someone's looking to get into the market, take advantage of the current environment, we might be able to negotiate with some of these developers. As well as in Oakville, there are some developers where we can't negotiate with. They're very fixed on their price, but they've already built in their discounts on the price point. And then we have other builders where we might be able to negotiate with them to see if we can get the price a little bit lower. So
yeah, this is a new thing for me. So we can negotiate with the builder?
I cannot guarantee this in 3 or 4 months, right? But we're in a time now where, there is inventory. There are some products sitting with builders, and some of the builders are open to negotiation. It's within reason. Like if the house is priced for 1.4 and someone's putting in an offer at 1 million, it's not going to be accepted realistically. But if someone is coming in with 50, 60, even if you want to put in even if we're going to put in an offer, say $100,000 less than the price, they might be able to come back at us. I'm not going to say they're going to accept a $100,000 discount, but in the current market right now, there's a chance they might work with us to, there is room for negotiation for some of the developers right now, and I cannot guarantee that's going to be 4 or 5 months from now. We have to see where the market's going to go, but yeah, there's possibilities both in Oakville and in Milton.
Yeah, it's been a buyer's market for a while now, right?
Yeah.
So coming back to the Oakville, what is your favorite area in Oakville?
That's a good question. So on paper, like the Oakville market, the more desirable areas on paper are more like South Oakville. So closer to, Lake Ontario, closer to Old Oakville. There's a lot of reasons why. Obviously, if you look anywhere in the world, if you're closer to the water, the ocean, the lake, there's always a premium for that. So with Oakville, South Oakville, if you guys have been to downtown Oakville in the summertime, it's really beautiful. A lot of nice restaurants. The architecture is really beautiful, but it's proximity to the lake. It's a very prestigious neighborhood. The schools there are very good. There's a lot of trails in the neighborhood. There's a lot of nature. Like you can see behind me, this is actually this is North Oakville, but it's expanded more towards South Oakville. And there's more natural heritage in that part where they can't really touch the land. It's preserved land. Like this park over here is an example that would be towards South Oakville that's gone. So yeah, there's more, on paper, that's a more desirable neighborhood, but it's really subjective. We have a lot of people that, like young couples and young families who grew up in Mississauga, but obviously in Mississauga, they're not building right now. There's no homes available like for pre-construction. So what's the next best alternative? Like Oakville is a closer comparable to Mississauga than Milton is. So we do have a lot of people that are actually interested in North Oakville because it borders Mississauga, because North Oakville also has close proximity to the 403, the 407. It has close proximity to Mississauga, to downtown Toronto. The Oakville GO station, the Bronte GO station, those are the main stations. If you want to take the transit, like the train to downtown, and that's only like a 10-minute drive or 8-minute drive from North Oakville. So we have a lot of younger couples, younger families that actually prefer North Oakville. Maybe the older demographic prefers South Oakville. But on paper, South Oakville is more desirable. But I would say for myself, if I had a chance to live, because I guess I'm young and I have connections to Mississauga, I would choose North Oakville.
Yeah, but talking about demography, what kind of people they're living in Oakville right now?
Overall, Oakville, that's another reason why I think there's so much value. Like the demographic in Oakville is really good. It's a very, very refined demographic, right? So with the Oakville market, it's an expensive market. So what happens is that you need families that are more in the higher income earners. The average dual income for a family household in Oakville is about, it's over 200,000 now, gross. So, I don't want to say that, people that make more money tend to be more refined or professional, but honestly, in some cases, people that are more educated or more they have good jobs, they tend to be more refined people. I mean, and the community in Oakville is on the safer end compared to other pockets in the Greater Toronto Area. That's another thing, safety. So people that deviate towards Oakville are they are the higher income earners. I would say a more refined demographic that they make good money. They're more family oriented. Oakville is known for their top institutions, both in schools and post-secondary, with Sheridan College, being one of the post-secondary institutions there in Oakville. But, families that tend to, want to raise their kids in a really good environment, Oakville is always at the top of that bucket list. Like I said, schools, safety, The infrastructure is also really nice, like especially in North Oakville, the roads are spread out. You know, all the new developments, the big box stores, the retail, they're all brand new. You know, it's all brand new development, commercial development that's happened over the last 10, 15 years in North Oakville. And the nature, the trails, there's a lot of natural heritage in Oakville, like I mentioned. So they cannot touch that land. And what happens there is that Oakville's becoming dense, but to a certain limit, because they can't touch that natural heritage. It's not as dense as like a Mississauga or a Markham or a Brampton, and that's attractive for people too. Traffic is not as big as an issue unless you hit the Dundas corridor, like from Dundas 9th line to Dundas Trafalgar. It can get pretty busy in peak hours, but overall Oakville's a little bit more serene. And what else is there? Yeah, it's a township. Sorry, one more thing. It's a township. It's not a municipality. So there are certain restrictions that come with a township versus a municipality. Just one example, if you see over here behind me, those are high rises. They're limited to 30, I think it's 35 stories now. So it's not like you have condos that are 50, 60 stories high. There's other restrictions in the township. They want to preserve certain things that an urban core like a Mississauga or a Markham, they're a bit more open to creating density. So that's attractive too.
Perhaps this is the reason Oakville is so expensive, huh?
These are all reasons why. And some people might still think it's not justified, but Oakville is ranked the highest. It's ranked the most desirable place to live in Canada. And we share the same sentiment, so that's why we work pretty heavily in Oakville.
So talking about the process of booking,
yeah,
when booking a pre-construction project, what are the significant things we should know about, and what are the implications when we're booking a pre-con?
Yeah, so with pre-construction, normally how it works is that a builder releases a project, they're releasing X amount of units. They create all the marketing material. Maybe an agent like myself or someone else sends you an email. You look at all the information, you're interested. Maybe you go visit the sales office. You speak with the representatives for the builder there. You go visit the site location. You decide, okay, you know what? We like this layout. We like this house. The deposit structure works for us. We want to book this property. So the first step is that when you're booking your pre-construction property, you have to give the signing amount to the builder. So normally to secure a unit, the first step is every developer has a signing amount. So that signing amount is normally provided by either a bank draft or a check, and it's up to you or the agent you're working with. In that case, like myself or Asim, we collect a check from you, we go drop it off to the developer, and they hold that lot. What will happen then is that they will send the agreement of purchase and sale. Now in this time and day, before it used to all be paper, a lot of times now the developer will just send you an email. It's a digital APS, and you have X amount of time to go over that APS and sign it off. When you sign that APS, it's firm and binding. When you sign the APS, it goes back to the developer. When the developer signs the APS, at that time, the deal is firm and binding. But when you book a property with a pre-construction developer, they have a deposit structure, right? So when you're booking a property in pre-construction from Mattamy Homes or Fernbrook Homes for $1.5 million, they'll say, okay, the property is $1.5 million. Our deposit plan is you have to give us 10% of the purchase price. In that case, on $1.5 million, it's $150,000 over the next 6 months in 5 installments. So you have to also provide them post-dated checks. So the signing amount will be a bank draft most of the time. Some developers, they also have a hybrid where you can pay half on credit card, half as a check or as a draft. And then the remaining installments will be like post-dated checks. So that is the typical process. You have to give the builder bank draft, post-dated checks for the deposits equaling normally 10%. That's something we can also negotiate right now too. Like we are negotiating with developers to stretch that deposit structure out if it helps with people's cash flow. And then normally builders also need a pre-approval. Pre-approval is from the bank. That's normally given within 30 days.
And talking about the firm deal, so once we sign the agreement and the builder sign the agreement, the deal is firm, right? No one can back out of the deal.
Yeah, so technically, like legally, once the APS is sent to the client to sign, right? They book the property and the builder sends them the APS for them to digitally sign. Once they sign it, it goes back to the developer, to the vendor, the builder, to also sign back on it. Once the builder signs back on it, at that time the deal is firm and binding, and any deposits that are given to the builder, they're not legally obliged to give back to the purchaser if after 2 days they say we want to back out of the deal. They're not obliged to do it. Some builders, they might do it if they have a sympathy, but they don't have to do it. So that's why we always recommend that if someone is booking a pre-construction, I mean, we've done a lot of deals with these developers. We have gone through the process of reviewing the APS with many lawyers, and we can say confidently to the clients that this is a reputable developer. We've done many deals with them. We've had lawyers review it in the past, and everything is good with this developer. I wouldn't take too much stress on it. But even if they do want to have a lawyer review the APS, they can do that. I mean, once the builder sends them the APS, and if they have any concerns about that APS, they can have a lawyer look at it. The builder normally gives a day to sign that APS. So they do have a day. We can provide a lawyer of reference. They can review it, and if everything checks out and it gives them a peace of mind, they can go ahead and sign the agreement. Because with freehold detached, they're firm and binding. It's not like a condo or a condo townhouse where you book a property and you have a cooling period, like a 10-day cooling period. When you're booking a freehold detached property, from the time that you sign and the vendor signs, it becomes a firm and binding agreement.
But talking about the condos, in condos we have a time to back out.
Condos, you have what's called a cooling period, which is normally 10 days. So even if you book a condo in Oakville and you go and you give them the check and you give them the post-dated checks, and say after 6 or 7 days, as long as it's within that cooling period time frame, you say to the builder, look, actually we want to back out of the deal, then you can receive your full, whatever payment you give to the builder, you'll get it back in full. And normally during the cooling periods, builders don't deposit the checks, like the bank draft and whatever post-dated checks, like that's just held. They don't deposit until that cooling period passes. So but that's very important for people to know that with a freehold property there is no cooling period. You have to act faster and you have to do your due diligence. With a condo, you do have a cooling period. Yeah, 10 days normally.
And at the time of possession, is there anything extra we have to pay to the builder?
At the time of possession, when you mean, okay, so you book a property and after 3 years the property is ready for move-in. Yeah, so every developer is different. When you're booking a pre-construction property versus a resale, there can be additional fees that would be due on closing. Not necessarily not hidden fees. That's something that people worry about. Are there hidden fees from the developer? And that is something that your lawyer could review before you sign the agreement to make sure there's no funny thing going on in the APS. There's no hidden fees. But there is something which is standard, which is called development charges, or you can call them levies, whatever. So most builders, there are development charges that may be due on closing, but some developers, they actually waive those charges. So a lot of times when a developer is marketing a project in Oakville, part of their marketing incentive might be that zero development charges, right? And so you have to look at that. You should look at that before you even book a property. Are there development charges? Because that is something that you potentially, if they are charging, you would have to pay that on closing. And for a detached property, honestly, in Oakville, they normally range anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 that you would have to pay on closing. But a lot of the recent deals we've done, they're waiving them, especially in this market. One of the incentives is they're waiving them. But development charges is a big one that you should look into. We're going to do a separate live stream talking about in depth all the closing costs that come with a pre-construction home. Like, we're going to pick a home for pre-construction and we're going to run through a full chart breakdown of what costs exactly you would have to pay on closing, because there are some other costs that people don't know about. Land transfer tax. Land transfer tax is something that you have to pay on closing. Development charges, if the developer is billing them to you, you have to pay that on closing. Lawyer fees. What else is there? There's some miscellaneous costs in the agreement, like water meter installation, hot water tank installation. These are smaller fees, but that's also due on closing. What else is there? Title insurance, carry-on fees. Yeah, there's a few things.
Depending upon your situation of the client or the buyer, 2 to 3% additional, I think they have in their budget when it comes to the closing cost. Okay, talking about So how do you see the difference between the resale and the pre-con?
Good question. So resale right now is trading at a lower premium, I would say, to pre-con. There are some things with resale. There are some benefits where, these development charges, for example, you don't pay that when you do a resale, when you purchase a resale property by putting in an offer. There's no such thing as development charges. There is land transfer tax. With any purchase you do, resale or pre-con, you have to pay land transfer tax. In Toronto, you have to pay 2 taxes, provincial and municipal. But outside of Toronto, it's just the one tax. So that's always going to be there, but no development charges. Also, in resale, well, if you're booking a detached property over $1 million, you have to come up with more money in resale. That's I guess the downfall. If you're booking an expensive property like $1.5 million, if you're not a first-time home buyer, then you might have to put down 20% within 2 or 3 months, right? Like when you put in an offer and then you want to close the property in 3 months, you guys mutually agree that we're going to have a closing in 3 months from now. You have to come up with that lump sum amount. The bank, if you're going to get a loan from the bank, they're going to loan you 80%. So 20% you have to come up in cash. So it's a shorter time frame. Resale, you might have a property that is an older property, like might be some wear and tear on it. People, some people prefer to have a newer property. You also have to live with whatever upgrades and finishes are in that house. When you're booking a pre-construction, you can choose your upgrades and finishes. So it's really situational. It's really based on the circumstance of like the client's preference, right? But if you're just, doing a black and white comparison of pre-construction to resale, there is a little bit of a premium on the pre-construction, right? So yeah.
So can we pull up some property and compare with the pre-con right now?
Okay, we can do that. Give me 1 second. I think we had some properties here that you had sent me actually. So I'm going to pull this property up. Yeah, there are some good deals. I think this is a deal that you had sent me before. So this is in South Oakville. And this property is 1261 Queens Plate Road. This property actually sold for $2.115. So this property is a sold property. But that's a good price. Like in South Oakville, what is the lot size here? Yeah, 42 by 90 foot lot. So if you're looking to buy this property like brand new from the developer, this is 3,500 square feet, 2-car garage. And what does it have here? Premium signature package, 4-piece bathroom, 3-piece bathroom, upgrade, gas stove. Yeah, so this property over here would probably sell in pre-con for $2.3 million. So that's what I'm showing you. I think it's a 0 to 5 year old property, and this is in Glen Abbey, right? So Glen Abbey is a really, really good community in Oakville, very refined community. So there's $150,000 to $200,000 price differential between the resale and the pre-con. But like I can show you right now if I pull up my portfolio here. For anyone that's looking to buy in Oakville, because we specialize in this market, well, we specialize in Oakville, Milton, and Burlington. Those are the 3 markets. But, if I just show you on my folder here for detached, these are all the ongoing detached properties that we have. So, I mean, there's 14, 15 properties. So when people call us and say, send me a list of the projects, it's very hard for us to send everything by email. We always advise, let's meet in person. And then we can run through all the different projects. Every project has different offerings. Every developer, has different flexibilities on maybe the pricing or the closing dates, stuff like that. Every project are in different locations. So, there's a number of variables involved. But yeah, I mean, I can show you another property in the resale. I think you guys sent it to me. I think it was this one over here. Okay, let me see. So if you see her on the map, this is located in North Oakville. So this is all South Oakville over here. So this price for this house, this one sold. When did this one sell? December 8th. So this one sold December 8th. It's a 2-car garage. It's got four bedrooms, 4 washrooms. And what is the square footage on this property? Don't think it says. But it's a 44-foot lot. So to get a 44-foot lot brand new right now in Oakville, like in this, where's the map gone? Sorry, guys. Yeah, so this is North Oakville over here, as you can see. So to get a brand new property there with the current developers, 44-foot lot, you're actually touching like over $2 million. So it is a resale. I mean, there is a price differential between resale and pre-con. And what is the age of this property?
Yeah, it's less than 5 years.
Less than 5 years, right? Yeah, so I think this is good value. I mean, there's so many factors. You have to go take a look at the property. You have to take a look at the condition. I mean, look at the interlocking at the front. No developer will give you that. So, that's nice. And you can see it also backs onto, it looks like natural heritage over here. It doesn't back directly onto it, but it's close to it. 90-foot lot, yeah, that's the standard lot size. Unless you're buying something in Oakville and you're willing to pay a premium for the house, like a premium for the lot, the standard cookie cutter lot size in terms of depth is 90 feet. So 90-foot lot, you're getting probably from, you see this door over here to the end line, you're getting probably about 25 feet of real backyard depth. So, but you can see here they've done interlocking at the back as well. It's fenced. When you buy a pre-construction home, it's not fenced most of the time, unless the developer has to do it from the city. And you have to pay for that as well. So, this is a good property.
Yeah,
this is a good property.
I believe we are getting much better deals when it comes to resale. What do you think?
See, it all depends on the situation, right? Like, if someone says to us that we want to book a brand new house, we want to choose the finishes, we're not ready to move in right now, we're looking for something maybe end of this year or 2026, obviously resale is not a fit, right? If someone is just going based off price point and they think that they can get a better value in the resale at a lower price point and they can move in a few months and they're okay, maybe even if they want to change some things from the inside of the house and they think they're willing to put in that effort, then of course resale is a good option.
Yeah, from the price point, I believe it's the better.
Yeah.
It's better. The resales are better when it comes to the price point.
The price point alone, right? Yeah. But again, like I mentioned last week, like when builders are selling pre-construction, they're building in their premium in the price too, right? Because it's going to be ready after a year and a half. But it's just changed now. Like I said before, like on the last stream, maybe if a builder charges $100,000 more, that price will be realized and baked in after 2 years. But we're in a different time now. I mean, prices I do expect will go up over time in the next 12 months. But it's by how much? Like it's hard to say. So, but like there's more flexibility with pre-construction. At the end of the day, your closing is farther out. You're just committing some cash flow. You're parking your money. You have more flexibility on the finishes, the upgrades. Right now in Oakville, like if you're comparing a pre-construction detached to a resale, yeah, there could be a $200,000 price differential. But once you go into single car detached, like a single car detached pre-construction versus a single car garage detached resale, that price differential narrows, that gap narrows. We were looking at that yesterday. And same thing with a townhouse. If you go and look at some of our townhouse projects in Oakville compared to the resale, the price difference between the pre-con and the resale is not significant. So I would say like you're seeing a difference in price when you're comparing a double car garage detached pre-con to a resale double car garage. If you're saving 50 or 60,000 for going for a resale versus a pre-con, then I think a lot of people might consider just going for a pre-con. because then they have more flexibility on so many other things. Unless they have to move into the property in 4 months. If they can wait for a year and a half, then pre-con's is a good option.
Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you guys have any question, you can call us, you can write us an email, and we'll always answer you, and we can help you with your real estate needs. Okay.
Yeah. So we have a lot. Actually, we have a lot more other questions we wanted to talk about when it came to Oakville real estate, but I don't think we got through all of them today. And we've been on here for about an hour, so we'll maybe continue this next week.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll keep talking about Oakville, and we'll get to a few more